When you say run a row,
Yeah.
Explain to them what you're talking about.
When we manufacture this product, we've got 2 needle bars, and all the needles are lined up. Some products, this is a straight stitch. Some products step as it's being sewed. But on a straight stitch product, it means the lines are all running lengthwise, straight, consistent. You've got a gauge row, whether, was this a 10th gauge? You have a 10th gauge between each yarn. So when we're actually saying run a row, we take a screwdriver and run, I'll find it here. We'll actually run it down the length of the carpet. And what we're doing, we're breaking open the 2 yarns to where we can take our actual cushion knife, or cushion back knife.
Yeah.
That has a blade in it, and we can cut between those rows. And like Kelly said, we're not cutting any yarn fibers, we're actually cutting it back. And what that does, that puts it back factory, so the seams are, somewhat invisible.
Show again the ice pick and the
Oh,
what not to use.
there's the
Don't use
Yeah.
that.
and
Don't use the pencil.
ink pens, and that,
Okay, those are
and that usually
no-nos.
those usually go back to residential, because any cut file you can use either one of these products and not have an issue. It'll run a row, anytime.
You want
But
to use.
on a loop product, you always want to use some type of screwdriver or a large blade.
We're starting our
Break it up.
remodeling, Steve.
Nice.
Lunch it up.
Hey, Paul.
How's it
You
going?
learn how to install some carpet?
Yeah. Just don't tell my wife.
Puts it to
Yeah,
work
there's
this week.
still issues out there, yes.
We should do it scoring it or something?
No, breaking the so you can
Breaking
see
it.
the rows.
The rows apart. And really, they can cut on any row. It don't matter, as long as whatever row they cut on, if they take a beige off of this side, they need to leave beige to get it back on
Right,
the
because
pattern.
it's back to the pattern.
Yeah.
It's a small pattern.
But when we cut it, see, we're not cutting any yarn fiber. But if we're doing it, we always like to cut on the dark, between the dark and the beige. And the reason for that, when you're putting them back, you got that dark dominant brown and then the light beige, and that's gonna go back pattern wise. But they'll actually just row cut it down the length of the carpet, and you can look at it. There's no fray. And actually, I can cut some out and show you.
Can you guys see the dark side and the light side?
Yeah.
That he's talking about?
So really, weren't we having the problems where we seam it together?
That's what he's doing.
Oh, that's what he's doing right
cutting.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
We're seaming it right here.
So you're seaming it right
He's
here.
getting ready to.
So you gotta pick the row, you gotta pick a
Yeah.
dark row, and when you do it.
They can cut it anywhere. The installer you had in Illinois was cutting between the beige and there's a bluish tan in there. He was cutting there, which is fine. As long as he cuts it and puts it back pattern.
Paul, the big thing
Don't
here
matter.
is it's a pattern. It's a pattern with like a 1/4 inch repeat. But that 1/4 inch is big. And half of the guys are thinking it's not a pattern. They
Show
just go, "Look,
Paul that piece of
Can you
what'll
show the
happen if
page?
if you double cut.
Gets the zipper on
So here's the issue that we're getting at,
it. Mm-hmm.
is all that. That's from double cutting.
That double cutting's like wallpaper. You put it
he
on
went
top.
over?
Yeah.
You put it on
it's
top
like
and
you
then
overlap
cut
the pieces and you just
The double cut,
Yeah.
you're overlapping,
Overlapping it.
and they're just taking the cutting
And there's
both pieces.
and because of that, there's
They
no
can
way to
shift.
keep that square.
Right.
So if you got it skewed, you're gonna cut through and you're gonna get the zipper effect.
But I mean, you're gonna get a square if you
Yeah.
cut the way you're
Yeah.
cutting?
Yeah, because we're cutting with the direction of the carpet, the way it's manufactured.
you're cutting with the pattern.
Well, even
Yeah.
this, Paul, if they're not square, they should be putting that at the two
Yeah.
ends under the baseboard. In other words, where it's not square, that's where the unsquare goes.
Really, as long as they put it back. Put it back to factory.
I think you brought a special piece of carpet.
Kind of like a magic
Smoke
trick.
and mirror.
Oh.
That's funny.
I'll trim this carpet off, and if you want me, you can have this piece. That advantage underneath will hold it on there if you need another seam. But as long as they cut, no matter where they cut on the product, any color, you should wind up with a, you know, acceptable seam. But it needs to be glued and seam sealed, you know,
Yeah.
properly. It actually looks good when you cut it right.
You're looking for it.
What's interesting is, you know, on just about every commercial piece we make, you know, this, if you don't do this for a living, you may think, well, seems like to ask a lot to run a road, but it's what we do on every commercial piece we make. So it's not uncommon. And they were doing it on the old product. Should have been doing it. But if you cut across the old product, it was a little more forgiving. I think is what we were
That's what
saying.
Bill, and David did say. Yeah, they were road cutting the old.
Where's the
product.
seam?
Is there a commercial carpet installation certification aspect?